So, welcome to another episode of Kahani Café, where we are bringing you stories which are brewed with reality. And our guest for today is somebody who is an inspiration in herself, who has taken the uncharted journey in her life and is really proud and, most importantly, happy in doing what she is today. Introducing Asha Chhetri. Welcome,
Hi,
Asha. Welcome to our show.
hi, Samanjan. Thank you so much for this great opportunity. And I'm really happy to be sharing my story today. I haven't done, I haven't shared my story till date. This officially is my first story. The story which I'll be sharing. And I'm all ready to share whatever I can or I have. So I start.
Yes, that's lovely to hear, Asha. We promise to be gentle.
Hmm.
Uh, Asha, tell us about you. Who is Asha Chhetri? Let's start with there.
So, my name is Asha Chhetri. I was born and brought up in Sikkim. I did my schooling in Sikkim only, and I was in Sikkim till my 12th standard. Then I did my master's in English from Delhi University. I did my master's in journalism and mass communication from Amity University. And yeah, half of my year I have lived in Delhi. I worked in Delhi, and I'd say I was fortunate enough to work in one of the best organization in Delhi, and also got to meet and work with the best of people in Delhi. I was in Delhi for 10 years. I was in media. I did media sales for 10 years, and I had great time in Delhi. I made good friends. I met good people. I had really, really good life in Delhi, the kind of life that I wanted to, the kind of life I thought was, I thought what I was doing in Delhi, what was happening to me in Delhi was what I wanted to do throughout my life till baking happened. I was in Delhi for 10 years, and I don't remember a single day when I was really unhappy about me being in media. In fact, I was enjoying it. I was really loving what I was doing till when 2016 I decided to head back home. So me heading back home was not like just a plan, I used to travel with my best friend, and I really started liking the culture of homestay. So I'm from Sikkim, and Sikkim is a tourism place, so I thought I'll come back home and I'll open a homestay because I love meeting people. Like entertaining them. I like getting entertained by them. So I thought, homestay is a place that I need to run because I'll be meeting new people. I'll get to talk to them. And, I did manage to open a homestay. I ran that homestay for 8 months when I realized that host was not I wanted to be. I wanted to be the guest. I enjoyed every bit of it. Like 8 months when I was running the homestay, I enjoyed. I loved all the guests that came to my homestay. But 8 months down the line, I realized, I wasn't living. I was just surviving then. So this was not something which I wanted to do. So I decided to go back to Delhi. One thing I've realized in life is if you are doing something which you're not liking, I don't think you can force yourself to do that thing. So I didn't want to force myself to stay back and run the homestay. So yeah, I did my tickets for March 2018, and I had decided to come back to Delhi and join one of the media and continue with my career as media sales or whatever I get through, ready to compromise with my salary because there was a lot of gap. And then I don't know how, everything that happens to me happens by chance. And then this baking happened. So from February 2016, after I started baking, I don't think after that I've ever looked back.
So lovely, Asha. That brings me to our next question for the day. So you've started your career, as you said, in media sales, right? And
Hmm.
like you said, you work in the best of the media brands in the
Yeah,
capital. And
fortunately, yeah.
Yeah, and from there you had a little tryst with hospitality, wherein you decided to go back to your hometown in Sikkim and then start off a homestay.
Yes, I did
You
also.
Yeah, you did that for a good 8 months.
Right.
I'm sure that was quite content for you. You were happy doing what you
Hmm.
were. But then
Hmm.
down the line, you realize that, that's not something that you would want to do, for a
Right.
longer period of time. And then you
Hmm.
came back.
No, no,
Uh,
I was planning to come back when baking happened. Like I tell you, like whatever happens to me happens by chance. So baking was also like a chance. It happened by chance. It didn't come to me, it just happened. So I was trying to come back, join media sales when baking happened. Like,
right.
I mean, it just happened. I'll tell you the story later how it happened, but it just happened. And after that,
Mhm.
like I told you, I never looked back. I just canceled my ticket and I've been baking since 2018, and I don't think I'm ever gonna leave baking. I mean, I think I'm gonna retire baking. I love it so much.
So, Asha, so from taking from that point, right? So you are in Sikkim in your own homestay, entertaining guests, and then you
Yeah.
suddenly decide to come back to Delhi and possibly go back to doing what you were, which is media
Right.
sales.
Right.
Tell us about that. You say that things happen by chance in your life, and that's
Hmm.
what has been your story thus far.
Right.
Tell us that moment, wherein you when Bakim called you. So it's a
Yes.
calling, right? So and you answered
Yes.
to it. Tell us that moment wherein you realize that okay, this is something that you would want to do, because baking is
Right.
something which is not related to your previous two stints,
Not at all.
homestay, yeah, and media sales. I mean, they are as far as away from baking as it could be. Tell us that moment wherein when baking called and you decided to try your hands at it.
Yeah. So I'd say like I told you, I've got this habit of talking to people. So I met this woman out of the blue. She was sitting in one cafe back home. I mean, in Gangtok, and she was sitting alone. And I actually thought she was a tourist. So she had come to my cousin brother's cafe, and my cousin had gone out. So I was handling his cafe that day. So this woman, who I thought was Japanese, and I thought, tourist. So I'll just go and talk to her. And I started talking to her, and she turned out to be from Sikkim only, and like much more elder to me, but we clicked. I mean, she had come there alone. I started talking to her, and then she told me like how she was planning to open a cafe in Gangtok, and I mean, she's got a small baking unit here, and then she's planning to open a cafe here, blah blah blah, this, and I told her like how I had opened a homestay, but I lost interest, as in like not lost interest, but I realized like that is not what I wanted to be. So I told her I'm heading back to Delhi, like, where I know like I'm going to get through somewhere, because I've been in Delhi for good 10 to 12 years. I know like a lot of people. And I know for sure if I ever come back to Delhi, I'm going to get a job. Kahin pe bhi ho, mujhe mil jayega. Like I have that confidence when it comes to Delhi. So she just asked me, and I remember it was 14th of February 2018. It was Valentine's Day, and so we had become friends. She didn't have friends. I don't have much friends in Gangtok. So we started meeting, and though she was elder to me, we became like really good friends. Her name is Aishwarya Preeti. We became really good friends, and one fine day on the February of 14, 2018, she asked me if I want to check her baking unit. So, and she had not opened a cafe, she had bought the unit. And I told her, okay, let me go and have a look at how a baking unit looks like. I mean, I had not seen an oven, because I love cooking, but when it came to baking, I only used to watch baking shows. I used to love watching baking shows, because probably because I was meant to bake at one point of time. So yes, baking shows I used to watch from before only. I didn't know then that I would be baking one day, but I think I've seen all the baking and chocolate shows. So I told her, like, yeah, I want to see how a baking unit looks like. So on the 14th of February, from my homestay, I was still in my homestay then. She got me to a place. I love the units. I mean, it was like a cute small unit. She had an oven, she had a freezer, she had not started a cafe. And she told me if I want to see how it works and all. I love the oven. I have no idea, but I just love the oven. Looking at it, I was like, wow, like you make cake in this. And I was like, okay, trust me, I had not seen an oven like this kind of commercial oven before I started baking. So I think when you're not in that profession, you don't know like a lot of things, like right now also I don't know like a lot of things, but yeah, I had not seen such huge oven in my life. So I told her, yeah. And I told her I really like it. And she asked me, and in fact, she was going to the US for some time. And then she asked me if I want to give it a shot in baking because I'm here for like a month. Why don't you give it a shot? So I said, okay. I mean, I love learning new things. So I said, okay. And then she was traveling, she went to the US. So I got inside the baking unit, just like that. And I didn't even know how to switch on the oven. I had to look at the manual. I was scared also because I didn't know one day I'd be taking over the unit. It was still hers. So I was very conscious about how to use what. It was all expensive stuff. So I was very careful. I was very cautious. And I think it took me 4 days. And I'm not even kidding. It took me 4 days to realize like I was born and brought up to bake, not to sell media, not to sell pages, but to sell cake. I mean, that is when I realized, when I touched the whisk, I knew it. Like, what was I doing for bloody so many years? I should have just done this when I started my career. But yeah, I mean, they say like everyone in their life comes to a realization point where they realize like why they were born. I mean, everybody realizes. And for me, I think I came to my realization point on the 14th of Feb. Now I know, like, I mean, something happened to me, when I started baking. I don't know, like, if it's a therapy, I don't know, like, what happened to me, but I changed. Like, it changed me, completely changed me. And after that, I mean, I don't think I've even thought about like coming back to Delhi. And I mean, like, now I feel like even if they pay me like 5 lakhs per month to sell a page, I don't think I'm gonna go and sell it. I am so happy and so like satisfied. I think baking is everything for me now. So, and one fine day after 6 months, Aishwarya Preeti, my friend who had told me to take care of a unit, she calls me from the US to tell me that she's getting married. Okay. And she asked me if I want to take over the unit or if I want to sell it. So I told her I am buying a unit, and I bought a unit. After 6 months, she left Gangtok. And then from that point, I become the owner of my unit. It's my own unit. I bake, I enjoy, I love every bit of it. And I can bake. I bake, make, wake, like eat. I mean, I just bake. Like baking is everything for me now. So that's how baking happened.
That's lovely to hear, and especially the passion that you have for baking is so
Yes,
infectious, Asha.
yes.
It's like if we were to do a word cloud right now of the conversation that we had, I'm
Mm,
pretty sure that bake is a word that would be the most prominent because that's
right.
yeah. Asha, tell us a bit about the support system that you've had in your life thus far. So, talk about your family, your
Okay.
friends,
Hmm.
and the support that they had for you.
So, like I told you, I don't have many friends in Gangtok. Okay, like so I did my schooling from here, but I have no idea how I lost in touch with all my friends, probably because I did my graduation from Delhi, I did my master's from Delhi. I was in Delhi for so long that all my friends, whosoever I have, like, I consider my friends from Delhi as my family. So I don't have much friends. Yeah, I have like a couple of them. And
So I see like
everybody was kind of shocked. And yeah, I'll tell you what, I would say the biggest support for me in this baking field, when it comes to baking field, has been my cafe partner. His name is Tenzin Sangpo. I would say, like, I like to mention two people who's become like the strength for me when it comes to this. Like, see, I'd say like these two people are the ones who made me realize what I was supposed to do. So Aishwarya Preeti, who I had mentioned before, had it been not for her, I don't think, I'd be ever, I mean, I've not been nobody would have introduced me to baking, had it not been for her. So I'd always thank her for introducing me to baking. And the other one I'd say is like my cafe partner, Sangpo Tenzing. And see, I'd say like he's my strength, he's my biggest support because I have not taken any classes when it comes to baking, and he is a businessman, and he's got like lots of cafe. He's a guy who's arrived in life, and he gave me the stage. He gave me the platform without even knowing me. Okay, I mean, we don't know each other. We are not cousins. We are not friends. I had never seen him before. He had not seen me before. So we just met by chance again. I'd gone to his cafe, and since I talk a lot, we landed up talking, and the Delhi connection happened. So he's a pastor from SRCC. He's from Delhi only. He got married to this royal family from Gangtok, and he came back to Gangtok and opened a cafe. So we met, and I just started talking, and we just he just decided to like make me his partner, like not even hire me. He just told me he's gonna make me his partner in his cafe. I couldn't believe it at first, but yeah, he pushed me. I mean, it was him who pushed me, who gave me the stage, who gave me the platform. Like till now, also, I mean, he's the one I think was helped me. Like I knew nothing about baking when I started. Okay. I mean, yeah, another thing is like I learned through books. I don't learn baking through online. Like for me, it's always been books. I buy books. Kindle has been my favorite so far when it comes to baking. So when it comes to online, I mean, like, I don't know. I just can't get into this online baking thing. So it's always been the books. So my strength, my support, my push when it comes to making my dream come true has been Tenzing Sangpo, my cafe partner, who pushed me before. He's been pushing me since 2018. He is the one who told me what to do, what not to do. See, baking, I do it, but my, I mean, I'm not from a business family. So um, none of, I mean, like, I don't think I have a single person in my family who's doing business. I'm the first one. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to like support, strength, influence, like whatever, I would like to mention these two names: Aishwarya Preeti, who introduced me to baking, and Sangpa Tenzing, who's given me the stage, who's pushing me, who's given me the platform, who believed me and who believes me, like believes me so much that he decided to like give me half his cafe, like give his cafe to someone who knows nothing about baking. Like he trusted me so much just with my words. So I mean, I'd say, my strength, my my strength, and the most like influential people in my life has been these two people. Yeah, my like family and all laughed when they got to know I've started baking, but as in like a good laugh, not like making fun laugh, but they were like laughing. And my dad especially was really happy because he was like, now you're not gonna leave second, because like you're baking, and you're happy back home. So I know like at least now you'll be in second. So my dad was really happy because he knows like now, like for certain period of time, I'm gonna be in Sikkim and not live Sikkim. That was he was really happy. Yeah, when it comes to like support, strength, push and all, it has always been Aishwarya Preeti and Tenzing Sangpo, the two of them.
All right. So, Asha, you've highlighted your support system for your baking career, if I put it that
Mm.
way. Tell us something about when you see, you've told us that, you've been in Sikkim at least till class 12th, and then you moved to
Mm.
Delhi for your higher education. So,
Yes.
when you moved in Delhi, did you have people around you who you knew beforehand?
No.
Could you share, okay, on that phase of your life wherein you're in college and then after college wherein you actually got into media sales,
Mm.
who could you share who was your support system back then? And what
Uh,
role did they have in your life?
During my graduation days, I think I've always been independent since my, childhood. Like somehow, like I adopted this. habit of doing everything on my own. So that's why my dad always used to say, like, she's my son, not my daughter, because I have that habit of doing everything on my own. In fact, you'll be surprised to know that I was actually doing my BA honors in English from Kolkata, Jadavpur University. And I actually didn't like Calcutta. I couldn't be friendly and I couldn't make much friends. So I just decided to come to Delhi and give an entrance in Hindu college. And I got through. So that's how I came to Delhi. Okay. I was actually supposed to pass out from Jadavpur University, Kolkata. So yeah, I mean, like the thing with me is if I feel something is not clicking, I'm not liking it, I just move. That is the thing with me. I'm not scared. I just move. So when during my graduation days, so my college in the college did not have a hostel for girls, and my dad actually didn't know I was going to Delhi from Calcutta. My dad had got me an apartment in Guru Sadeh Road in Calcutta, so I was staying there. I just didn't like it, so I decided to come to Delhi. I took a train. I came to Delhi. My sister was in Delhi that time. She was in SRCC, so I knew, like, I had someone whom I can stay with for like a couple of days type. So I came to Delhi. I gave my entrance, and I got through again. So I'll tell you, like, my graduation days, I stayed in an apartment with a couple of my friends. And so I don't know, it might sound weird and it might sound funny, but I do remember like parts and partial of what happened during my graduation days, but I can remember a lot of stuff after I started working and few of stuff when I was doing my masters. Graduation here and there, like probably because I was just studying and I wasn't doing much. I was just studying, making friends. See, college days uses parties, so I was a dancer. So I think college graduation days, all I used to do was study and dance, like go out, study, dance. Masters, yeah, masters. I have always stayed with my friends, my age group. Like graduation days, I was staying with one random girl who was junior in my college. I had a couple of Assamese girls who were staying under my apartment. So I actually don't think so. Like, I don't think graduation days, I was in that phase, like where I was thinking what I want to do. I think graduation days was just fun for me. So I don't think I met anyone who could guide me, because I think nobody needs a guidance if they want to dance and study. So I don't think I had anyone who was guiding me. And yeah, the best part about me is, like, I didn't go haywire because my dad is pretty cool. So I got to do whatever I wanted to do during my school days. So I didn't go haywire when I was staying alone also. So that ways, graduation days, I was in line because of my dad. Because, when I went to Delhi, my dad had come to visit me because he was shocked. And when you're from a small state like Sikkim, so the parents, they're very scared. You're going to Delhi, the rape capital, and this, blah blah blah. And my dad knew I was staying alone with few girls, so all he told me was, you're doing your graduation. Graduation, I mean there's the thing where you can do everything and anything, and that's college. That's what my dad told me. And what he told me was, if anything offers you anything bad, and you go to a party, like what he meant was drugs, you just shut your eyes and think about me, and then you'll stop. Like, whatever they're gonna offer you, gonna stop. Just think about me, okay? That's what my dad had told me. And I think I never got into bad stuff because, see, I had like wild friends, I mean, you have Stephens as your neighbor and SRCC right there, and my college is there. In my days, like drugs was the in thing. It still is, but I never got into it. So, like, yeah, I was in line and studying, doing my BA honors in English, like closing my eyes, thinking about my dad whenever someone offered me money. So, yeah, graduation days, मैं line पे थी because of my dad. Masters, I did my master's in advertising. I specialized in advertising because I wanted to be an ad guru. I did my internship with, in fact, with Mr. Karandi. And when I did my internship, that is when I realized, like, okay, ad is not what I wanted to do, because I can't be in an ad agency for such a long time. So I got into like journalism, which of course, like, matlab, I didn't take it again like seriously. So yeah, masters was just rolling. It was just rolling, you know. The only difference between masters and graduation was I stopped dancing. I mean, my dancing was a little lesser during my master's time. So my best friend Dipshika Das from Assam, like, so we were doing masters in advertising and journalism together. And so during this internship, you know, like, I wanted to do research, so I joined Britannia. And she wanted to get into media sales, so she joined India Today as intern. So after 3 months, like, see, I got into media sales because of Dipshika Das from Assam, and she's in Bombay, and she's still in ad sales. She's at Sony right now. So she got into media sales, and I was doing research with Britannia. You know, what biscuit is coming, this is coming, that is coming. And I used to see my friend Dipshika, you know, going for meetings, and she used to tell me, I met this client, I met that client, this client, that client. And I was like, okay, media sales sounds fun. You know, you're meeting people and you're selling like pages, and it's an achievement if you get an ad, you know, from that people. So I told her, like, why don't you like arrange an interview for me in India Today, you know, because if I get through India Today and if I will be with you, then I am going to do media sales. I get my interview in India Today and I got it. Okay. And I'm not kidding. I didn't know, like, that time I didn't know, like, interview and all were like so like serious and you had to like dress up properly. I went to India Today wearing my floaters, and I met Miss Preeti Kohli, who laughed at me, you know, and she was like, you know, I'm just taking you. That's how I got India Today. And then I joined media sales. I started with India Today Hindi, let me tell you. I was selling India Today Hindi. That was my first like sales career, right? And I rocked it. I loved it. I mean, not as much as I'm loving baking, but yeah, selling. I realized like, okay, man, I can be like a Selu, and that too like number one Selu. And then I became like media. I got into media sales because of Dipshika Das. And then after that, for 8 to 10 years, you know, I was shifting job from India Today to Maxim to Fortune to ABP to whatnot. And then like I was just selling, like not looking back, but just selling whatever I could. That's how I got into media sales.
So, Asha, you seem to reflect very fondly to your media sales days, right? If I may.
Hmm. Yeah.
But you do not seem to look very fondly back to your homestay days. So, basically, what I would want to ask you now
Hmm.
is that in your different phases of life, so media
Hmm.
sales, if we take that to be one phase and then homestay to be
Yeah.
one phase, uh, tell us about what challenges you faced along the way when you made each switch, so from media sales to homestay and
Yeah.
then homestay to getting into your own baking thing.
Hmm.
What were the challenge that you'd say that you faced on your way?
I'll tell you what, okay, when we have get together in the family and when you sit with the oldies, you know, those like dad and the gang, and when they talk about their struggle, you know, during those days, like, हाँ मेरे पास तो 50 पैसा होता था and 100 रुपये होता था and all. Not kidding, that's the kind of struggle I faced, okay? I mean, it was a struggle, man. I couldn't believe like ऐसा भी कुछ होता है. And what my dad used to tell me, like, you know, how he got through the scholarship, this, that, what my bade papa used to tell me, like how much pocket money they used to get when they were studying in Bombay, this, that. And I'm not even kidding, I faced that. So when I was in media sales, you know, it was smooth because see, it's media. And like I told you, fortunately I managed to get through like good organization, you know, like really good brands. Because see, I mean, whatever I do it with passion. I feel, you know, I mean, whatever I get, I do it. I give my 100%. Like I want me to do well. You know, I mean, I've always been like that. So when I was in Delhi for good 10 to 12 years, it was fun because see, you're getting good salary. 31st of every month, the first of every month, you are loaded. You know, all you have to do is run. Okay, they are like tension because you need to achieve your target and all, but that's not struggle, that's not struggle at all. I wouldn't even consider that as s of struggle what I was doing in Delhi. That was just like, now if I have to like compare what I'm doing right now, see, baking and what I was doing there, I was earning, I think, double of what I'm earning right now. But what I know now is I was just surviving in Delhi. I was happy because of the people there. I had friends there. I think now, like I used to have like an awesome time after 6 p.m. in Delhi because I had my friends there, like I told you, my friends, my family, whatever, is in Delhi. So that's what helped me in media sales. Like, see, I think I wasn't like totally enjoying media sales also. Like, not like I was like sad. See, few organization I was sad, okay, because there was like salary issue. We didn't get salary on time. But that also never stopped me from achieving my target. I mean, not blowing my own trumpet, but yes, I have always been like that. Things turned for me when I just decided to come back home and open a homestay because I told my dad, like, you are not going to help me in anything. Like, I am going to do it. I will do it. Like, everything I'll do it. And yeah, my dad is retired and I definitely didn't want him to like move around at the age of 60. I'm grown up. He's done enough for me. So I come back home. And then I realized, like, I mean, renovating an old property is like a very big deal. So, in spite of hundred and thousand of people telling me not to take loan, I took up loan to renovate my old property. And I took like a lot of loan, okay, from the bank. I renovated the property. I was the happiest the day I opened my homestay. The name was Mountain Eclipse. Okay. I mean, that's my ancestral home, So obviously I was born there. So I was really happy, when the guests started coming in. I was more happier. The thing is like, see, I was doing everything on my own, from cooking to entertaining to, I think, chilling to washing to, I mean, like everything. And when I say everything, I was doing everything on my own. And psychologically, I didn't even realize when it hit me, but it had hit me really hard. I mean, like, um, what do I tell you? Like, since I told nobody to help me here, and I think everybody took it literally, nobody was there to help me. My younger brother and I have a younger brother, and Dipendra and I. So he decided to be my partner and he came in at the right time. And yeah, I mean, because I was mentally losing it, which normally does not happen to me. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who gets into depression, I'm not that type. I'm mentally very strong, but I started losing it when I was doing homestay. I have no idea, man, no idea what happened, why it was happening. Later on, I thought maybe, I mean, I don't mind being the guest, going to someone else's homestay and chilling there and entertaining the host. But me being a host, I think I realized then, like, that's not what I was supposed to do. I'd already taken so much of loan, I was paying EMI every month. So I couldn't even let go of that thing. So, yeah. And on top of that, COVID happened. And the worst part about taking loan was like, I mean, either COVID or whatever comes, they're not gonna listen to your sad story about how you came back leaving everything and how you took a loan and how you opened a homestay and how you realize like you don't want to run and how you've got so much of loan in your head, you don't know how to repay them back. You don't have anyone around you who's gonna help you, I mean, I think that is my fault because I told everyone not to involve them. Like, see, I don't think people should have got involved only. And things became weird when I threw my phone and I decided not to get in touch with anyone. I lost touch with all my friends for almost a month. I didn't feel like talking to anyone. I just used to sit in my own state thinking, what next? What next? Okay. I didn't know how my EMI would come. I mean, I couldn't think for 1 month. I was like, oh shit, like what's happening to me? I might die. I don't know. Like lots of weird things started happening to me. That's why I was like, I think I should just head back to Delhi because all my friends are there and there are lots of chances for me to survive there, you know. I mean, even if it is just media sales, I mean, because I didn't know, you know, see, I had not started baking then. So I thought media sales, I any which ways love selling. So I thought, okay, man, I'll just go back to Delhi. I might have to compromise on my salary like a lot because 3 4 years of gap and COVID, and after that, you know, I go like I was ready to compromise on my salary too. The kind of struggle is really boring, I'd say, if I have to share, because there was a time when I didn't have money, like, and I'm, you know, that I'm from a well-to-do family, but struggle is such like there was a time when I didn't have money. So I used to go to my cousin's cafe and have food there because I didn't have money to buy food. I mean, that was the kind of struggle I faced. But now when I think about it, you know, that was also like a learning phase. At least I have story to tell my niece and nephew, like my Bade Papa and my dad. I'm pretty sure you won't have any struggle story. I mean, you might have a struggle story, but not literally like those Buddha time ka story, you know, jahan pe tumhe 4 आना and 5 आना milta tha. I actually went through that phase too. Like, I remember one day I had Maggie for lunch, Maggie for breakfast, and Maggie for dinner because I didn't want to tell my dad that I didn't have money and I can't pay my EMI. Because, see, I'm really, really stubborn, you know. I mean, I really don't like to show people that I cry. And I really don't, especially, I don't like to show people that I'm struggling. So the worst thing that happened to me was I took everything on my own, like everything on my own. I was not sharing this to anyone. And yeah, I think I almost got into a mental asylum had it not been for baking again. I probably would have been like taking up some therapy or like obviously I'd not have committed anything bad. That much I know I won't do it, but for sure I'd have been under some therapy. Struggle is real, huh? Struggle is real, like, and it's fun. You learn a lot.
Interesting, Asha. Through the roller coaster journey that you've just taken us through, you've you've achieved the highs of life, you've seen the lows of life as well.
Hmm.
What is that one thing, Asha, that you would say that still scares you today when you are a successful baker, you're looking to
Yeah.
launch your own thing? What is that one thing that still scares you?
You know what? When you say like I got scared, and I'm being very genuine and real. When COVID happened, okay, I was not scared, but when lockdown happened, something happened to me. I was scared. It's not that baking is something which is which is helping me in my, you know, like what do I tell you? Yeah, in my living, like I can. I'm not baking to become like a crorepati or like crorepatni. You know, I bake because I love, and I mean, I never have this thing like I'm doing this to be like a multi-millionaire or a billionaire in this field. You know, I go with the flow. You know that, so I go with the flow. You know, and but the feeling of scary, I didn't know, like till then I thought being scared was the feeling that you get when you see bhoot. You know, oh my god, mujhe bhoot se dar lagta hai and this and that. Okay, lockdown scared me, okay, and it scared me money, like I had become like a different person during lockdown. And one thing that really scares me now is like, and I'm not even kidding, COVID-20 and lockdown. Like, if lockdown happens again, you know, and if I get that, the feeling that I got, that scared wala feeling that every day I was scared. I have no idea why I was scared. I was not liking the feeling. So one thing I'm really scared of is COVID-20. Okay, and I mean not COVID-20, but the lockdown that will happen. And I pray and hope it does not happen. But yeah, I mean that's what scares me. And another thing which scares me here is see, I mean, see, when it comes to gang talk and when it comes to the profession that I'm doing right now, It's not that something or anything scares me. It's not scary at all. Gandok that ways is pretty easy, and live, the standard of living is not that high. So money is easy to earn here. Everything is easy here. Okay, you get lonely because you don't have friends here, and you get scared if lockdown happens. So I think for me, like if you ask me right now, one thing which you're really scared of, I would say like lockdown because of COVID-20. Because see, lockdown is not going to happen because of COVID-19 now. COVID-19 is gone. So if it happens, it will be of 20. So something which scares me is another something of that line, a lockdown happening and nothing moving, and me being in one room and not being able to move. And because I think if lockdown happens, then yeah, for sure, so I think I will be meeting a therapist if lockdown happens. And I think that's really scary for me because I don't want to go to that phase, that low now anymore. I do meditation now, and I've promised and decided that I am not going to that scary phase. But I know if lockdown happens, I think my scary phase will come back. So something which scares me right now is lockdown and COVID-20. And I hope and
Okay.
pray that does not happen.
So do we, Asha. So,
Yeah.
Asha, so you were, you talked about being stuck, right? Being
Mm.
secluded, being cut off from your friends, your family during the lockdown. So, is it, can I say that being stagnant and being stuck at one place is what scares you the most? That
Yes.
it could
Yes.
be in life as well, like being stuck at
Yes.
one place doing one thing?
Yeah. I need changes, another thing what I do is like, I think I don't know what this is. I'd call this bimar only. Like I need changes, so much change that I change my baking units setting like once in a month because I can't be in that same environment for like more than a certain period of time. I can't be in the same room. I can have like the same room, but if I change the setting, I'm done. Like living in that same room for like more than a month without even changing the setting. Even if I change my table from left to right, I'm done, but I need change. I can't be stuck and I can't be in one, like, you got my point, right? Like, I need change. Like, anyhow, like, I need change. I can't be stuck or I can't be in one room. I can't be stuck. I can't be in one place. I need changes in life. Sometimes I feel scared because this is something which is not good. That is why, like, so many feelings it comes, keeps coming to my mind. Like, why is like I change my apartment, I don't stay home because I get bored. Yeah, home is something which you cannot change. That home may your bed is stuck, your walk-in closet is stuck, so you can't even do anything about it. All you can do is paint in the wall and paint in the window. So that's what I used to do when I was home. But I think, like I told you, I'm a very independent person, and then I decided to stay away from my parents, not because I don't love them, but I love them more when I'm away from them. This problem with me is that, like, I need my own space. And the problem is like when I get my own space, I'm alone. And when I'm alone, I need changes, I need this, I need that. And like a little confused, maybe, I don't know what that is, but yeah, you're absolutely on point when you say like being alone is what scares me. Being in one, like, routine life, one monotony, something which makes me monotonous, like something which I do on regular basis every day, every day is what scares me for sure. Like, that is why, like, I shift my cupboard from one position to the another. Like, I shift my table, I shift my bed, because this is a rented apartment, I can do whatever the hell I want to. I change my unit like once in a month so that when I enter, I see like a different space. I need change in life, and very constantly, I need change in life. That's
You
the
Okay,
thing.
you've highlighted that you are an independent woman, right? And you've highlighted that in multiple times during this course of this conversation. I would want to ask you, Asha, what does freedom mean to you?
Yeah, so I think I got to know what freedom is after I started baking. Okay, so yeah, so freedom to me means, when you can do whatever you want to without having to ask permission. I mean, you don't owe any explanation to anyone. You can do whatever you want to. You can go wherever you want to. You're living your life. You are not surviving, but you're living. Like, you're happy every moment because you're getting to do what you want to do. I mean, for instance, I'm living the life that I've chosen, right now. Like, baking is what I'm doing. I feel so free right now, because I can be me. Like, I can be me without having to ask for anybody's permission. Like, when I was doing sales, okay, see, you are going to meet a certain set of clients. You need to be what you are not. You need to seek approval from your bosses. Like, man, like, ये formal पहनना है, ये करना है, वो करना है type. Like, every phase of life you need to ask permission. You're not doing what you want to do. Okay, unless like you are achieving like a big target and whatever karke you reach that level, then maybe you can do. But I think, like, for me, freedom is now. I am free now. Like, I am living my life. I've realized, like, I can do whatever I can do. Like, I don't owe anyone any explanation, and like, I don't need anybody's permission. Like, I mean, even a small thing, like, now if I want to travel, I mean, I am free. I've got that freedom. I don't need anybody's permission, anybody's, like, I don't have to go to someone and ask them ki, like, chutti le lu, like, chutti chahiye, no permission. Like, this is freedom for me. Like, being me, living, like, being happy. Like, I can, I'm not even kidding. Like, if today you come in front of me and you tell me, like, are you free? I think I can scream and jump and actually tell you ki, like, yeah, I am free, and I am like free. Like, yeah, this is freedom for me. I'm living every minute of it, and I'm happy. And when you're happy, somehow everyone around you, somehow they're happy. Even the birds, they seems like they're singing. I mean, not even kidding, everything changes when you're free. And when you're happy from inside, I think you're happy from inside only when you're free. And when you're free, if you're loving and living with what you're doing, I love what I do. I love baking. I mean, see, like, from someone who knew nothing about baking, I mean, I had not even tried so many cakes before I started baking. And to come to a point, when like, you're a good baker and you're making people happy by, I mean, I'm actually making this world a better place, I would say. And because of this, like I told you, baking was my realization point. And I think the realization point that any person gets, the moment you realize, like, okay, this is what I was supposed to do, I think you get your freedom. That's what freedom is. I mean, okay, man, I mean, no permission required. I'll do what I want to do. I am free. So for me, freedom basically means, like, like, living. Again, I'd say,
Hmm.
like, living. Freedom means living your life, living the way you want to, being happy, making others around you happy. For me, freedom means that. And I can very proudly and loudly say, like, I am free now. Like, I am enjoying my freedom right now. So, yeah, that's freedom for me in short right now.
That's beautifully put, Asha. So being your own boss, being happy, making other people happy is what
Yes.
freedom means to you.
Yep.
That's a brilliant takeaway for us. Asha, before we let you go,
Hmm.
if you were to write your own autobiography, let's say 5, 10 years down the line, what
Hmm.
would you call that autobiography?
Yeah, I think I'd say making this world a safer place.
Safer.
Yeah.
Interesting. On that note, Asha, it was lovely talking to you. Your
Thank you
story
so
is an inspiration, and we hope our
much.
listeners are going to have a lot of takeaways to take from your journey thus far. Thank you,
Yeah, I hope
Asha.
so too. Thank you so much, Anjan.